Hello, and welcome to the Star Power Cast, the definitive podcast for the game of Star Power Baseball, a game for generations where your fantasy baseball comes to life on the tabletop. We'll also discuss the history of baseball and just the present state of the game itself. I'm Jim Trovo, the baseball nerd, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Cincinnati Dennis. We hope you all enjoy the show. Hello, I'm Jim Trovo, the baseball nerd. With me is
Cincinnati Dennis, coming to you from the Cincinnati Razorback Room in beautiful downtown Siloam Springs, Arkansas.
The main focuses of topics today will be one, the rule changes that are coming for 2023, because we haven't talked about those yet. And then some new material that's coming out for Star Power Baseball. Is that right?
That's it. Yeah. Good stuff coming up. Yes. All new. New rules, new sets, new games. We're here. We're ready to go.
Awesome. So we're going to get things kicked off today, and we're going to talk about everybody's favorite items in any game, and that's the rules. Everybody loves rules, right?
Hey, we got to have rules.
You got to have rules so people can cheat. Exactly.
You got it.
So MLB has decided to implement some major rule changes for the game of baseball this coming season, and I would definitely say that there are some mixed opinions about it. So we just kind of wanted to go over those rule changes and maybe provide a little insight on what we think. All right, so let's start off with the first one here on the website I'm looking at, the pitch timer. Right, so let's go over what this actual rule is. Right, so between pitches there will be a 15-second timer with the bases empty and a 20-second timer with runners on base. At last check, the pitch timer has reduced the average of times in the game in the minor leagues about by 26 minutes. This is according to the data. This rule, which includes limits of throws to first base, has also increased stolen base attempts, which this rule in place the minors in this last season, the minor steal attempts per game have increased from 2.23 in 2019 at a 68% success rate to a 2.83. Wow. In 2022 at a 77% success rate. So here's some of the stipulations. The pitcher must begin his motion to deliver the pitch before the expiration of the pitch timer. Pitchers who violate the timer are charged with an automatic ball. Batters who violate the timer are charged with an automatic strike. Batters must be in the box and alert to the pitcher by the 8-second mark or else be charged with an automatic strike. With runners on base, the timer resets if the pitcher attempts a pickoff or steps off the rubber. Pitchers are limited to 2 disengagements, okay, pickoff attempts or step offs per plate appearance. However, this limit is reset if a runner or runners advance during that plate appearance. If a third pickoff attempt is made, the runner automatically advances 1 base if the pickoff attempt is not successful. Mound visits, injury timeouts, and offensive team timeouts do not count as disengagement. If a team has used up all 5 of its allotted mound visits prior to the 9th inning, that team will receive an additional mound visit in the 9th inning. This effectively serves as an additional disengagement. Umpires may provide extra time if warranted by special circumstances. So like if the catcher was the last batter that got caught stealing or something to end the inning, then they would give extra time for warm up.
Well, what they're really talking there is if the umpire or the catcher gets hit by a foul ball.
Yeah.
We're going to give you a little more time on the shot clock right there. And I love calling it the shot clock. I just think that that's the way that we should refer to it. The pitch clock just sounds so baseball.
Pitch timer.
Let's call it the shot clock. Yeah. The shot clock. I love it. I like the rule change about 2 throws over. I do think that in the big leagues, you're going to see the success rate not nearly as high as the minor leagues, though, because you do have better catchers. So I don't think you'll see stealing at a 70% ratio. I think it'll be more in the 60s.
Well, I don't know about ratio yet, because I still think that people are going to apply Moneyball strategy, and success rate is still going to be an important factor on whether you steal second base or not. I do think you're going to see, this is just me guessing, but I think the attempts of stealing third are going to vastly increase.
Agree. I also think that there will be more strikes called on batters than balls called on pitchers, because those batters for the first month or two adjusting their gloves and fixing their belts, and you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
that's going to come to a screeching halt. Nomar Garcia-Pera would strike out before he ever got in the box.
Yeah. Who was the other player that was the human rain delay?
George Foster.
No. It was a pinch hitter that was the human rain delay.
Oh, I can't remember who. I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name. Yeah.
One of our listeners probably will, but
fill us in.
I definitely think there's going to be a learning curve, obviously. And here's another wrench that it's going to be thrown into the mix. The World Baseball Classic is not applying these rules, right? So the players that are playing in the World Baseball Classic are going to have 3 weeks or so, a month or so before they even get to actual Major League Baseball. So they're going to have to do some adjusting when they come over as well.
It's about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Baseball class is about 2 weeks because it starts in March.
Yeah. So
games start in April.
Anyway, I mean, those players will have to get used to it as well. But as far as the pitch clock goes and the time reduction, and if the data is correct, it said 26 minutes has been shaved off a game on an average, which I think is a good thing for baseball, not having 3.5-hour games, but going down to 3 hours. And the best baseball games are right around the sweet spot is 2 hours, 45 minutes. That's usually that's the best.
And
game.
with the limitations on throwing over, you're going to see more base stealing, I believe, because the guy throws over twice, he can't do it again. So I can probably take off on first motion. Left-hander tries to pick me.
Yeah. See, this is where I think that's where the fault of the rule is saying there's a limited time. And I think the only reason they're doing that is to preserve the time of the game, to make the game last shorter, have a shorter time span. But now you've totally given the advantage to the base runner,
especially on left-handed pitchers.
I think injuries are going to increase for catchers, because like the catchers are going to have to do more pop times, more arm, like their arms are going to go worn out. You're going to see, I doubt you will see a catcher this year that plays 135 games. You might see one, maybe two, but I think the majority of your catching duties this season are going to be heavily split because of wear and tear in catchers.
I think, and that leads us into the next rule change of the bigger bases.
Well, let me get to that one. Okay. So let me scroll down here. We'll go to shifts. Okay. So bigger bases. Let's read the bases here. Traditionally, so this is the second rule change, right? And it's actually not a real rule change. It's kind of like a field change, essentially, or an equipment. Right, yeah. Right. Okay. So the next thing is the bigger bases. Traditionally, the bases have been 15 inches square. Now they're going to be 18 inches square, and home plate is unchanged by this. So that provides an extra, inch and a half, or how what's the distance?
Well, on first base, it's going to go 3 inches towards second. On second, it's going to go 1.5 inches towards first and 1.5 inches towards third.
Yeah.
Because the base is in fair territory.
Right.
So the entire 3 inches of base on first is going to be in fair territory. Third base the same way. So like you said there, I've got 4.5 inches now, and you've seen a lot of these replays. They're close.
Yeah.
And 4.5 inches is a lot of space on some of these replays. That's a safe.
Yeah. And I mean, you also got to think about running to first base as well. Like some of these super intense infield ground ball plays where guys booking it down the line full tilt. And if you give them that little bit of extra room, he's going to beat out those fast guys are going to beat out some infield hits. I'm wondering
if the close edge is going to be still at 90 feet, or is it going to be at 87 feet 3 inch or 89 feet?
Oh yeah. Okay. Inches. Well, I didn't think of that. Yeah.
I'll probably stay at 90 feet. I guess they'll stay at 90 feet and make it bigger going out towards the outfield.
Yeah. I will say that if you're a fantasy baseball player, you're definitely looking at that stolen bases category now.
Without a doubt.
I mean, traditionally you usually are, but it's because it's going to become a little bit more valuable because that's going to be a category you're going to want to win every week. Right?
And we're looking at it with the stolen base in mind, but it's actually a safety feature to keep the first baseman and the third baseman from getting killed, stepped on.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing about that. That's what it is.
Yeah. And again, man, how many jam knuckles are going to happen? How many, how many different types of small injuries are going to take place because people aren't used to that extra space,
Yeah, I'm anxious to see it. It's not a huge rule change, but
I think it's huge.
Significant, but it's significant.
I think it's massively huge. Like just because baseball is a game of inches, and you just gave them 3 extra inches. Yeah.
Yeah.
but I love stolen bases. I wish stolen bases would go up. Honestly, everybody knows, all my friends, everybody knows I'm a sabermetrics guy. I really am. But one sabermetric that I can't stand is stolen base attempt percentage, reducing the amount of stolen bases. I love watching players run the base, try to steal a base. I think that's an exciting part about baseball. But if you think about it, that excitement's been taken away for decades now because we look at the percentage being more the important number instead of the total number of stolen bases, right?
100% correct.
So, and this gets into a conversation we're going to have later on in the episode about the award-winning cards. I made a Vince Coleman rookie card, the 85 Vince Coleman, right? That guy wouldn't happen today.
No.
He wouldn't steal 130 bases because he wouldn't be allowed to.
No, they wouldn't let him.
But now, with the new bases on there and the call and the pitch clock and the number of times you can attempt, we might see 100 stolen bases again, which would be exciting. I think that's an exciting thing to see 100 stolen base season.
We haven't seen 100 stolen bases since Ricky and Vince. That's it.
Yeah,
and I believe there's only 4 people in the history of baseball.
Did Tim Raines ever steal 100?
Never.
No. Okay.
There's only been 4 people, I believe, in the history of baseball that have stolen 100 bases in a season. And that's Ricky Henderson, Vince Coleman, Lou Brock, and Maury Wills. I don't think anybody else in the history of the game stole 100 bases in a season.
Yeah. So
anyway,
I mean,
if any of you guys know out there, let us know.
Who's the guy that's the pinch runner for the past 4 or 5 years that played on all these different playoffs? Oh, Terrence Gore. Terrence Gore. So here's the push. Let's make Terrence Gore an everyday player. He's going to hit 150, but if he's on base, if he's on base and gets 100, if he gets 500 plate appearances and he hits 150, he's still going to steal 35, 45 bases.
Yeah, because Coleman stole 135 batting 250.
Yeah.
That's great. What's the third rule change?
All right. So the third rule is the biggest one. This is the granddaddy of them all. This is, I just lost my page here. This is defensive shift limits.
There it is.
So let's just go over what's happening here. Right. I'm going to go over the bullet points here. All right. The 4 infielders must be within the outer boundary of the infield when the pitcher is on the rubber. Infielders may not switch sides. In other words, a team cannot reposition its best defender on the side of the infield the batter is more likely to hit the ball. If the infielders are not aligned properly at the time of the pitch, the offense can choose an automatic ball or the result of the play. So I'm going to get back to that one. This rule does not preclude a team from positioning an outfielder in the infield or in the shallow outfield grass in certain situations, but it does prohibit 4 outfielder alignments.
Yeah, because you have to have 2 infielders on each side.
Yeah.
So it takes away something from Minnesota. They did the 4 outfielders a lot on the shift, but it really, really allows that late game to have 5 infielders on a tie ball game, infield in, outfield in the bottom of the 9th tie game.
Yeah, but I do like the whole acknowledgement of like, hey, if they have done this and the ball's hit and it hits to a guy, the team can say, hey, we're going to choose to take a ball instead of the result of the play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and again, and this is a highly debated topic on social media networks. I've been going on these different Facebook posts, Twitter feeds, you name it, different website articles and blogs, just kind of getting people's insight and opinions on this. And I will tell you, I think it's kind of a generational divide. I really do. And when I see, and here's the number one comment that I say that because I just said that wrong. Here's the number one reason I say this. A lot of older people that are fans, right? And this is older than me. I'm middle age, right? So people that are my age and possibly older than me. And I hear this a lot, and not everybody says this, but I hear the comment, they need to learn to hit the ball the other way. They need to learn how to bunt. If there's a shift and there's no third baseman over there, hit it to third base, right? I hear that argument all the time.
Until you've stood in against an 85 to 100 mile an hour fastball.
Right. And you're just kind of like, guys, it's not that easy. And then and so here's the rebuttal for that, right? The rebuttal for that, the people that argue this say, well, they're professionals. They get paid to do this. They should learn how to do this. And you're like, guys, their whole career, their entire life, they've been trained to do it one particular way, right? I mean, it's I don't know. I just get tired of that argument because it's just a circular argument. It's just, you're going to go and loop. You're just going to go in a hole and never, it's a rabbit hole that you never get out of. Right.
Well, every sport says offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. Okay. NBA changed years and years ago. They put a shot clock in the 1950s or 60s, increased attendance immensely. People became interested in the game. And then the NBA, there was no more 40 to 30 games. College implemented it. Now it's a common thing to have a shot clock. I love it. NFL has a play clock. Speed the game up. You only have 35 seconds between plays, 40 seconds between plays. Move the game along. Now baseball with a shot clock. I love it. Next thing is with the shift, every sport has developed rules on defense. In the NBA years ago, they eliminated zone defenses. You could not play a zone defense in a professional basketball game. They brought that back a little bit, but there's still, you have to be within guarding distance. In the NFL, the game favors receivers and quarterbacks because they've taken away a lot of the clouding hits from the defense to where you can't kill a quarterback and you can't kill a defenseless receiver because they want the offense in the game because more people want to see scoring done. Well, baseball's no different. Come along to the times. Get away from your conservative, I'm better than you attitude and get into the picture of today. People want to see production. We want to see scoring. We want to see people running the bases, making tremendous catches on the infield. You imagine with no shifts now, a shortstop like who's our shortstop of today? The fielding shortstop that's amazing. I can't think of his name.
Andrelton Simmons.
There you go, Simmons.
He's kind of old now,
but now he's playing shortstop and the ball's hit up the middle. He's now got a chance to make the Ozzie Smith play. He now can go diving for that ball up the middle and get to it. Second basemen are going to be diving for the ball in between the first and second base hole. It's going to be a lot more exciting and more defensive plays are going to be made. I'm excited about the no shift rule. I like it.
I'm excited about it because I don't want to see the league hit 230. And I don't know if it's going to increase the batting average by a super high amount. I think it's definitely going to go up. Right. But baseball is always reacting to make it a more of an offensive game because baseball reacts to itself to make pitching better. Because over the past few years, we've seen the high increase of you have 3-4 relievers that throw 98, 100 miles an hour
on every team,
and on every team now. And it used to be like the best teams had those guys, but now every team has it. And so the hitters have to readjust. And so that's when you started doing launch angle. Cause like, well, if you're going to throw it harder, then we're going to swing a particular way and just go for home runs because that's an easier way to score runs based on that type of pitching style. Right.
I really think too that Brian Kenny will come around to the batting average stat now too, because putting the ball in play is going to become a lot more important.
See, but there is a stat for that though. It's called like BABIP. It's like batting average for balls in play, right? So that there is a stat that measures that. Just batting average is still great. It shows how good of a hitter you are to get hits, right? But it doesn't show your overall productivity as a hitter, right?
So I think that the rule is going to be exciting to see.
Yeah. No,
especially the first 2 or 3 months of the season.
Yeah, we'll see how the league adjusts to it. Basically,
they will adjust. They will.
And then
they've been shifting since Babe Ruth.
A couple years ago, when the spider tack issue was a deal, right? Pitchers have adjusted since then, right?
The pitchers are still just as good.
Yeah, so they had their struggles, but hey, they're going to figure out a way. That's what's
upcoming season is exciting. I'm pumped about this upcoming season.
Yeah, so those are the rule changes that we've talked about. Anyway, moving on, let's talk about some Star Power baseball material coming out. All right.
Yeah, because actually this is the Star Power cast.
Yes, right. Oh, well, we talk about everything.
Let's do it.
All right, so we have some new items for 2023 that is going to be available to the public or to whoever just wants it. So let's start with the game itself. Talk about the 2023 new game board.
The new game board's been out now. We've gotten it out since October of last year, but there's a major rule change, no shift. But the major change in the game board is when you receive your game board in the mail, the spinners are not going to be attached. They're going to be in a bag with the magnets in the same bag as the spinners. The nuts that you will stick the magnets to will be included. They will already be glued to the game in place. The spinners will have dots on the peel off plastic to show you where to place them. And then you'll just put the magnets on, take the sticky tack off the back of the magnet, stick your spinner on, and this will stop damage in shipping. And I've already sent out 3 of these, and the feedback has been fantastic. Well, people are saying, well, I won't know how to do that. Yes, you will, because 2 things are now included in the new game to help you. First of all, there is a visual diagram on a piece of paper that shows you and tells you how to do it. But second of all, included in the game is a flash drive. And on this flash drive, there is a video on how to put the magnets and the spinners on the game board. You get a flash drive. In fact, the flash drive has 5 videos on the flash drive itself. And those videos, let me pull it up here real quick and tell you what those videos are. Those videos include unboxing the game, which shows you how to put the magnets on, how to play the quick game, how to play the basic game, what pitcher pips are so that people can get into the advanced game and learn about pips for pitchers. And it talks about the ground balls that are how you can rate players and win and lose on the spin on a ground ball card. The other major change to the game board just happened this week, and the boards are not in my possession yet. They will be probably next week. On the game board itself, the top 2 center spinners are no longer going to have pictures on them. They will have actual cards printed on the game board of the ground ball and of the outfield. What do you think about that, Gentro?
I think it's better. So now you don't have to take out the cards all the time.
Agreed. And it also shows you where to put your strategy cards.
Yeah.
Pretty easy that way. The game board itself hasn't changed at all. We've kind of spaced the guys a little better so that things are moved up, things are moved down, but there's still the box for the respins. There's still the box for the fatigue. The batters go on the bottom, the pitchers go on the top. And it's real simple, but that's the changes to the game board. But there's a brand new game board coming out. It's a very limited edition. I'm only going to print it one time. I am not going to print it any more than that. And it's the Hall of Fame Game Edition. Gentry, you want to tell them about that?
There's a whole bunch of Hall of Fame cards, pictures on the board itself. So if you like just looking at a collage of players while you play the game, it's right up your alley.
And there are 4 cards embedded in the game.
Oh, that's right. Who are I can't remember who the cards were, though. I just
good grief. Let me see. Tom Seaver, I think, and Babe Ruth. I think Hornsby's on there. But there are 4 great Hall of Famers that are on there. Okay. And that's it's a wonderful looking game board, and it's a very, very limited edition.
Is it still the thick acrylic?
No, not acrylic. It's the aluminum.
Aluminum. Okay. So it's the aluminum.
It's the aluminum. Okay. And it's I've seen the prototypes. I haven't gotten one in my hand yet, but that should be either next week or the week after. I'll be able to ship them out. Cost on that is still undetermined. I'm going to try to keep it as low as I can, but there's only going to be a very few of you that'll get one. I'm thinking maybe $199, because you're going to get what do you got on that Hall of Fame set? 247 cards or something?
Every player that's in the Hall of Fame as a player
is in that, right?
Including the 2 new ones. So Fred McGriff and Scott Lauren will be in that. Yeah,
they are. And so far on that new set, we've already mailed out 4 or 5 sets of your new Hall of Fame set. It's one of the most beautiful sets of cards that we've ever done. I mean, it is gorgeous.
I'm a big fan of it. It took me it took me about a year and a half to finally get done, but hey,
it's beautiful. And it comes in the Hall of Fame game, as well as You get all the other books. You get the rule book, the house rule and strategy manual. You get score sheets. You get those cards. You also get a couple of packs of cards, and your strategy cards are going to be laminated in this game. And on the inside of the box, there is a big picture too, so it's a little different. The box on the outside looks the same. It's the Star Power Baseball box. But on the inside cover of the box, there's a little bit of an addition special only to the Hall of Fame game. And this will be available in a couple of weeks. Okay. So I'm excited about that. And then there's a brand new game board coming out probably this summer or fall. And Gentry is designing that now. That is the Negro Leagues Special Edition game.
Yeah, I'm very happy about this one. So it's in super early stages of development, and it's just we just got to figure it out and know the look of it. And that's the whole creativity mindset behind how the boards go, is what do we want to see on there, what's distracting, what's not distracting, that type of thing. So yeah, we're excited about that one, and we'll see how it goes.
And that's one for probably summer, maybe fall. And that's the new games that are coming out. But even more exciting than the new games in the box that are coming out are the cards. The new cards that are coming out are so amazing.
Cards. Yes, we have.
Oh, I'm so excited about these cards.
As they would say in the Three Amigos, we have a plethora of cards coming out.
Well, tell me about some of the stuff you've been working on.
Okay, so I want to start with probably the smallest set that's available right now. So I have available, once I send them to you, the Nippon League sets of Japanese stars. So
these are going to be stars.
Yes. These are at this point, the cards that I'm making are kind of like all-time leaders and of the Nippon League, right? So you obviously names like Sadahara O, Hideo Nomo. He wasn't really a leader, but Hideo Nomo, big names like that came over. Ichiro Suzuki has his own version of his Nippon League card, which is crazy good. But there are lots of other names that you've never heard of that are Star Power compatible, which means no, they were not major leaguers in a sense, right? In regards to comparison to the Major League Baseball. However, I made the cards with the Star Power format and the formulas that we use based on their league statistics. And I've kind of talked about this before in previous in podcasts a little bit, but just kind of explaining of what the process was is that I did some minor research, found a good statistical website for Japanese baseball statistics, which is very, very reliable. And so I took some concepts of how we made original Star Power cards and then just transferred that to the Nippon League. So when you get a Nippon card and it says it's a 17-point card, that means it's comparable to a 17-point card that's in the major leagues, right? Now, you got to remember, some of these guys, when they transfer over to the States, sometimes it doesn't go well for them. And sometimes it does. Look at Shohei Ohtani, for example, right? Or Ichiro or Hideki Matsui. Oh, by the way, the Hideki Matsui card is amazing for the Nippon League. And he's a center fielder in that one too. But anyway, these cards are based on their competition in the Nippon League, right? So it's all based on their competitors in that league. So if you just want to strictly play the Japanese cards, you can do that. And I've actually play tested a few times with St. Louis Sean, and we have a blast playing this because we don't know a lot of these players. And so it's just really fun to kind of go back and forth and, have one guy that we've never heard of, like, perform really well. And, so they're a fun set to play with. They're really, really cool. It's kind of a niche thing. So if you don't know a lot about Nippon Baseball League or whatnot, it might not be up your alley, but I'd recommend giving them a try because they look super great. They're on a totally new, different background. We gave them green stars because we're with our different star colors, we have to differentiate. So any Japanese cards that you get, they're green stars. Eventually there will be some American players that transferred over to the Japanese league, but that might be a while before I get to those, because I'm starting off with like the people that were the all-time like the record holders, or the guys that had the most hits and homers and wins and that type of stuff.
I think that's going to be a wonderful set to play with, because what it reminds me of, I was 10 years old looking at my all-star baseball game, Catico, and I'm going, who is Earl Averill? And who is Whitey Kurowski? And I'm using these cards. Now, I knew who Babe Ruth was and Sandy Koufax and the Reds, but I had no idea who a lot of these, who was Archie Vaughan. That's what we called him at the time. Archie Vaughan. Who's this guy? This card's awesome.
Doesn't that just show that you don't know how to read?
It just shows that, well, it's
Kidding,
not a
I'm joking.
V-A-U-G-H-N.
I know. I'm
He's
kidding.
got the A in there. We called him Vaughan.
Yeah.
And then
Vaughan.
okay, we weren't that quite sophisticated. We were Cincinnati kids. But no, that's what it reminds me of, is discovery. Because I can give you an example. When I used a card for a guy named Paul Wainer, who I had no idea who he was, I actually went to the library and looked in a baseball encyclopedia to find out who this guy was. And I learned about, this is like 11 or 12 years old, Big Poison and Little Poison. And I started reading about that stuff. And that's what made me fall in love with the historical part of baseball.
Yeah.
Was this all-star baseball stuff. And I'm pumped about your Japanese. I've never heard of these guys.
Okay. Yeah.
And
So
I'm excited.
yeah. So for example, I have a guy here. His name is Yutaka Fukumoto.
Now, do you put it so that we can actually read the name in English, or do you write them in Japanese?
I write the name on the card in English. However, the top left and top right of the card are in Japanese, right? Wow. So, but it does say Nippon. It translates into Nippon Professional League. It's what NPL is what it's referred to as.
I love it.
So, but here, if for example, like just a couple of guys I'll name. Yutaka Fukumoto, right? You've never heard of this guy, I imagine, right?
Never heard of him.
So he is a 10-point center fielder, right? He's a +1 center fielder, and he's a 55 runner, so he's fast. And here's this thing, and I love doing the little information on the back on these guys. Fukumoto holds the Japanese stolen bases record, as well as the most leadoff homers with 43. So that's his claim to fame in the Japanese league. He's the all-time stolen bases leader, right? So if you hear, and
so
I
he's
had
the Japanese Ricky Henderson,
pretty much, right?
Yeah,
and he's about kind of the same type of hitter. He looks like he's a center fielder, not a left fielder, but he's the same type of hitter. He's got a little bit of power, walks a lot. The Ichiro card, here we go. It's a 17-point right fielder. He's a +2, 345 plus. He's a good card. Now, here, I'll give a couple pictures here.
What's so cool about what's happening right now, Gentry and I are recording this in Zoom, so I get to see these cards that he pulled them up to the camera, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, wow, these are amazing.
So here, I'll go over my two favorite ones, or actually one of them's my favorite. Another one I just kind of picked up randomly. Here's a guy named Masaki Koyama. Actually, it's Masaki Koyama. He is an S8 +3 pitcher, right? And his all-time record is 320 wins and 232 losses. That's a lot. And this guy, Koyama, his back of his card says that he had at least 200 strikeouts in a season for 7 straight seasons.
Holy cow.
That's a lot, right?
It's a cool card.
And now here's
like a Walter Johnson card.
Yeah. So this is the gem of all gems that I found by making these guys so far. This guy's name is Victor Starfin. And Victor Starfin is actually not Japanese. He's Russian. And he played from 1936 to 1955, right? And his back of his card says, born in Russia, Starfin emigrated to Japan and became the first pitcher in Japan to win 300 games.
Wow.
And so I started looking up more backstory about Victor Starfin. His family history has some political, like war turmoil stuff going on with it. So he's a very fascinating character.
See, you're doing what I was talking about when I was young. You're looking this stuff up.
Yeah.
That's what this is going to, a lot of people, when they get these sets, they're going to, well, today you don't have to go down to the library. You're going to Google them.
Yeah.
You're going to Google this guy and say, who is this guy? and you're going to check. I think this is a wonderful, wonderful idea. And that's a set that I'm excited about. How many cards per set?
12. So it's gonna be a 12. It's gonna be easy, right? So 12 cards a set.
You're going to get position players.
You get a position.
Pitchers.
You get the position players, and you get 3 pitchers. That's how it works. Yeah.
So you'll be able to play a game with that set right off the bat.
Exactly.
I love that.
And as I'm making the sets, right? Because you have 9 guys. Usually one of them's your DH, and then you have 3 pitchers, right?
Yeah.
The DH usually is going to be a first baseman, outfielder, catcher, right? But as the sets progress, right? I'm going to do the positions in every set as long as I can, but the DH role might transition from, like, instead of it being a first baseman, it might be a backup second baseman. So if you get these sets progressively, I'm building them as in, like, hey, you can start building multiple teams, right, with these Japanese cards. Yeah.
Now we're going to keep the price on these the same as our 12 card sets right now. Is that we're going to keep them at $6?
I would say, but I think, I mean, actually, after the first, let's say the first month they're released, which is going to be shortly here, whenever I get them to you, let's do a discount. Let's say $4.
All 4 sets for $20.
There you go.
All 4 sets, because you're releasing 4 sets right off.
Yeah, 4 sets right off the bat. If you want,
so we'll do that. Let's do that. 4 sets for $20.
If you want 48 Japanese cards they're the best of the best, as they would say in Top Gun. They are 48 cards that are all good. They're all good cards.
So yeah, instead of $24, we'll give them for 20. That includes shipping. We'll do that. One-time offer. Yep. You got to say that you heard it on the podcast.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, what's our next one?
Okay, our next sets, and I'm gonna save one of them for last because I think that's gonna change the game totally. Our next set is the award winners.
This is something that I've already sold quite a few of these to people out there because they love the power game. But I just made a set today for a fellow named John Harrington. And John listens to us and he plays our game. And John ordered the 2002 award set. Now, what goes into these award sets are MVPs from both leagues, Cy Young winners from both leagues, and Rookies of the Year.
Yeah.
Let's suppose that the year didn't have a Cy Young, like all the way up to 1956, then you're not going to get a Cy Young winner in that.
Or Rookie of the Year.
Or Rookie of the Year before 1947. And sometimes it's only one guy that's the Rookie of the Year. Like 47, 48 was only one Rookie of the Year. 56 through 65 or 6 was only one Cy Young winner for baseball. But anyway, John wanted to order the 2002. I haven't done the 2002 yet, so I did them and finished them. You know who the Rookie of the Year in 2002 is?
For what league?
Either league.
Either league. I just made the 2003, and I bet you can't guess the 2003.
No clue. No clue. I have no clue. The 2003. I know the MVP has to be Barry Bonds
for National League. Yeah. And then the American League was probably. Oh my gosh. I know for 03 it was A-Rod. It was A-Rod, but I can't remember 02. No, not Giambi.
02 is Miguel Tejada, MVP.
Oh gosh. Okay. Wow. That's
his juice.
That's going back.
But here you go. Rookies of the Year are these obscure guys in a lot of cases that only had that season. For example, the American League Rookie of the Year in 2002 is Eric Hinsky from the University of Arkansas.
Wow, good job, Eric Hinsky. Didn't he have a position? Didn't he have a stretch?
He played? You know position he played? No, he was the third baseman for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh wow, I remember that. I do remember
2002.
Didn't he have a run where he was in the postseason a lot?
Yeah,
because he just bounced from team to team.
He's a 3B11.
Well, yeah, obviously he can't play third.
Terrible. But and it was his best season he ever had. Was his rookie season, and the same thing goes for the American League the National League Rookie of the Year that year. And he guessed, and I'll guarantee you have no idea. I'm going to give you a hint. Colorado's Rockies.
2002?
Pitcher.
Oh, man.
Pitcher in Colorado wins Rookie of the Year.
Let me think. So it might have been a pitcher that was on the 2007 Rockies. So Jeff Francis?
Jason Jennings.
Okay, wow.
His only good year that he had was 2002. And on the back of his card, I even wrote, it was kind of funny. Jason Jennings never won more games in a season than he did in 2002. He was 16-8 with a 4.52 ERA.
That's really good for Colorado, though.
I'm telling you. Well, he was a +1 respin at 4.52.
Yeah.
Because that ERA plus is park adjusted. And that's the kind of fun that you get to have using these awards cards.
Well, I completed 2003.
Well, and that finishes up.
And the AL Rookie of the Year should have been Hideki Matsui. But the writers, not all the writers voted him in like that because he was in the Japan League. He was in Nippon for 6 or 7 years, and so they're like, "Oh, you're really a rookie?" Because they had voted Ichiro a couple years prior as Rookie of the Year, and they didn't give it to Matsui for some reason. Instead, it goes to one of those guys that only had really one good year, and it was okay. I mean, I looked at the stats. Yeah. It was the shortstop for the Kansas City Royals. Do you remember this guy?
Alfredo Escobar?
No, this is before his time.
Okay.
It was Angel Baroa.
No, don't have a clue.
Yeah. And so also, like, Cincinnati Dennis has been sending me the 70s. Guys, if you want fun award-winning sets, the 1970s Rookies of the Year are just guys that you're like, who is this guy?
That's right. Now, what's so cool about this too is, the initial batch, I kind of put out a mistake on the pricing of this, and I've got to change it. This is the way I'm going to sell these sets, and I'm going to change it on the PDFs, and it's going to be mailed to everybody, emailed to everybody. You get 5 sets for $10. I've been doing 10 for $10. So those of you that have got the orders in already, you've made a great buy. I'm going 5 sets for $10. Each additional set is $1. Okay. But the first 5 sets you buy are $10. That way it covers my shipping, my postage, my paper, my ink. It covers everything. And we don't lose money, because I did lose money on the first few sets I sent out. So anyway, you get 5 sets for $10. And then each additional set that you want on that same order is $1.
That's actually a great deal if you think about it, because if you get the modern sets, they all have 6 cards, and if you get
or more,
so if you get 5 sets, that's 30 cards for $5. That's really good. You're going to put together some great teams with that. Now, one thing to keep in mind though, if you want your sets to be earlier, like we said, if you want the 1911, right? So if you want the 1911 set, that's only 2 cards.
Yeah.
Right. And so you got to keep that in mind.
Oh, I'll tell you something else on these cards. This is a brand new format that Gentrovo came up with. Brand new. These are single season cards based on the single season statistics that the player put up, with pictures on the front, information on the back, just like our regular Lifetime Star Power cards, with one exception. And that is
the star. No. Oh, well, the star color is blue. We've changed it. We've added another star color, right?
And that's in the rule book now.
So we wanted to, here's the thing. When we made MVP cards in the past 3 years or so, 4 years or so, we just, put the title MVP on there and still used their lifetime card as the card, right? And we've actually had, for the past few years, requests to make these types of cards. Are like, I really would like to have a Stan Musial 19 whatever card, right? Or whoever, and I don't know why it took us so long to get to this point, but we were like, we should just, when we make these award guys, they should just be that season, and that should be a cool card that you can just have and use if you want to use, right? So the guys do have their regular lifetime card. It's just that if you're an award winner, we thought it'd be kind of cool and special to have that individualized card, right?
So that's what they now are.
It's a little treasure
card. It is. It's really cool. It's a single season card with a blue star on the front denoting single season, which makes it perfectly compatible with any Star Power baseball team.
Yes, and when we use the word compatible, we want to point out we're talking about the points game itself. Right. You could just like throw cards together and play. That's fine. But if you want to play the designed purpose of this game with this, like the whole concept of Star Power baseball is developing your team with the points, right? Because we've played with numerous amounts of people that have played this game, and we said, hey, we're playing a 30-point game, we're playing a 100-point game, and that's where the challenge and fun lies within this game, is using those star power points to build your team.
And a lot of these players, I'm going to say a lot of them, some of these players exceed the 25-point limit.
Yes,
and we do make that happen.
We have the most expensive card of all time in the 2021 set, and that is Shohei Ohtani.
And he's
a 38-point card.
38. So if you want Shohei on your team, pay for it, baby.
So, but here's the reasoning behind 38 points for Shohei, though, because we have to. So when we have two-way players, right? And Shohei is kind of like an anomaly. There's never really been anybody like him in baseball, right? We've had there's been Babe Ruth, but Babe Ruth never was full-time, maybe like a year, right? He was never full-time pitcher and full-time hitter because there wasn't a DH. So he couldn't do that. So the Shohei is the first among hopefully many down the road that can do this. But we have to combine his pitching with his hitting. Okay. Now there's some actual Negro League cards that are in the Negro League sets that cap out at 25 points, because that's the lifetime cap point, such as Martin Dihigo and Bullet Joe Rogan. Those guys' cards are two-way players and they're phenomenal. I highly recommend putting those guys in your team because they're +2 hitters and +3 or 4 pitchers, right? So they're great cards. Same thing with Babe Ruth, because you can use Babe Ruth as a two-way player in our game.
Right. And that's our award sets. And we have available to you every year that they ever had an MVP or Cy Young or Rookie of the Year. You can buy them. And I'm not listing them in the catalog. I don't list it. I just show you that you can get these. You look up the year that you want, use an MLB reference or whatever, and just send in your request. We'll send you the cards. I'll have John Harrington's cards out to him probably tomorrow. Be done.
All right. So finally,
that leads us to the last
thing. So we talked about a concept back when Dr. Bob was on an episode back in, was it November? October. Okay. So Dr. Bob was on an episode, and towards the end of that episode, we briefly mentioned coaching cards, right? And we also kind of barely touched on maybe managerial cards. And so the time has come and the idea has been made, and I've made about 50 of these things so far. We are introducing the concept of manager cards in baseball. And there are different tiered levels of manager card within these different sets, right? And so in these manager cards, you're going to have the option for additional respins based on the type of manager that you get, right? And so we've leveled off the managers in 4 different categories. We have a level 1 manager, a level 2 manager, a level 3, and a level 4 manager. And the points cost of those managers is star power based points. A level 1 manager is 1 star. However, he doesn't cost you anything to put on your team. We just put
one point.
Cost 1 point. I'm sorry.
So you put
1 point to put a 1-star manager on there.
If you want a manager, it costs 1 point.
Yeah. Now, and I'll explain what the managers do here in a second. If you want a level 2 manager, it costs you 2 points. Okay. If you want a level 3 manager, that costs you 5 points. And if you want the ultimate manager at level 4,
John McGraw,
cost you 9 big ones for a level
Tony
4
La
manager. Now you might be saying, hey, what do manager cards do? Well, based on the level of manager that you have, they can do 1, 2, 3, or 4 things. Okay. So on a manager card, I'm going to hold it up here so I can help you. Right. On a manager card, and they look great, by the way. They have like a cool green background. You have the name on there, and then in the middle is a big picture of the manager with the star power on there. And there's going to be wording that says choose, right? So right now I'm holding up Jeff Torborg. He's a level 1 manager, and he says choose 1. So during the course of the game, Jeff Torborg can choose 1 category that's on this card. I'll explain that in a second. He can choose 1 category on this card to respin during the course of the game. And the 3 categories you have on the card for the manager card are all coaches. You have a bench coach, you have a pitching coach, and you have a batting coach, right? So if you want to use the batting coach, for example, Jeff Torborg's like, hey, my batter just spun something that I don't like. and he doesn't have a respin left, or he doesn't have one at all, I'm going to use my manager to make that batter respin it. And so that's all that Jeff Torborg gets to do in the course of the game, because he's a choose one manager. He's a level one. He can only use one of those categories.
Now on your batting coach,
yeah,
I can only respin
right. Sorry,
the
go ahead.
batter's card.
Yes, you can't make a pitcher respin. On the batting coach, you can only respin a batter card. That's it. However, the special thing about the batting coach, in the rules we have, you can't ever respin a strikeout on the batter. With the batting coach, you are able to respin a strikeout on the batter.
So for 1 point,
yeah,
I can respin Mickey Mantle's strikeout.
Yes. Now, let's say that you didn't want to, right? Let's say you didn't want to use the batting coach with Torborg. So instead, your choice would be the pitching coach, right? Let's say that it's 2 outs, bottom of the 8th, and you got to get somebody out, and you got your big K reliever in there, and he's used up all his respins, or he might be an R1+0, and you spin a WH on him, and you're like, oh man, I don't have any respins with him. Instead, if Torborg hasn't used his choose one ability yet, you can say, well, I'm going to choose the pitching coach and respin my pitcher. Okay. Now with the pitching coach, it's the same thing as the batting. You can only respin your pitcher. Okay. But you can also respin an X or a Z, and traditionally you cannot do that. Right. So if you wanted to use the pitching coach, then you could use that for Torborg. Now, the final one is the bench coach, and the bench coach, if you wanted to use that for Torborg, because he's a level one, you would be able to respin any strategy card, be it the stealing
strategy card.
Yes. Stolen bases, hit and run, outfield card, ground ball card, event card. Yes.
Wow. So I could respin my instant replay.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So that's a level one. He gets to choose one of those. Now, if you
only gets to choose one of those.
He only gets one.
When he chooses the batting coach, he can't use the pitching or the bench coach.
He's done. He's done.
So he only gets a level one manager has these coaches sitting on his bench, but he can only use one of them per game.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha. So yeah. And so here's a level two manager. Now, how a level one can only choose one, a level two, you guessed it, can choose 2 of those options. But once one of those options has been picked, you can't pick it again. So if you use your batting coach one time in a game, you can't make your second option a batting coach again. Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
So he can either go batting then pitching, or pitching.
Once the coach is used, he's done.
He's pretty much done for the game. Yeah. So, so a level 2 manager gets to have 2 options. He picks 2 of the 3 that he wants, and you don't have to name it before the game. You do it during the course of the game.
So, right? Okay. So I can do it at an opportune time.
Yes.
Gotcha. Right. And when the level 3.
So a level 3 manager costs 5 points.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
So here's one.
Do these points go against my 30-point limit on a team?
I think they do.
Okay.
Yes. So here's a level 5 manager. This is Vic Harris. He's a Negro League manager.
Vic Harris, level 3.
He's a level 3. Says choose 3. So he gets to pick all 3 of these categories one time, right? So he can use his batting coach, his pitching coach, and his bench coach in a game. So now, and I'll explain.
Could I use my batting coach and my bench coach on the same batter?
As long as you don't respin a respin.
Okay. And I can't respin even with the coach. So the rules there apply.
Right.
Okay. So like if my batter hit a ground ball and it was a 6, and you have a shortstop that's a PR1.
Yeah.
And it landed on second base, I could respin that and try to get it to land on the shortstop.
Yes, you could.
Ooh, that makes the game a lot more fun. Yeah. What's a level 4 do? I can't wait. What's a level 4?
All right. So level 4 is okay. So let me explain to you what the level 1, 2, 3 was. Basically, level 1 manager is a manager that never won 1,000 games, never won a World Series, and is not in the Hall of Fame. So your level 1 manager is just your basic kind of run-of-the-mill managers. And like some of these guys are really great managers. They made it to the playoffs or whatnot, but they just never went all the way, or didn't last as long to win 1,000 games, right? A level 2 manager is one of 2 things. One, the manager won a World Series or he won 1,000+ games, right? So,
or
1,000 games. So if he
either won 1,000 games or he won a World Series, and not both.
Yeah, not both, just one, right?
Gotcha.
So So for example, the level 2 that I showed you was Art Howe. Art Howe never won a World Series, but he won over 1,000 games.
Okay? I gotcha. Okay.
So a level 3 manager the manager won a World Series and won over 1,000+ games, right? So that's your level 3 manager. So actually, some of the Negro League managers, though, I had to adjust a little bit because of the number of games played during the season. So yes. And then,
so like Dusty Baker, who just won his World Series,
he's a level 3.
Went from a level 2 to a level 3 now.
Right. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Exactly.
And
so your level 4 managers.
To be a level 4.
Your level 4 managers basically are your Hall of Fame managers. So if you're a manager that made it into the Hall of Fame based on you being a manager, you're a level 4.
Okay, so when we look at the Hall of Fame list and it says in as a manager, you're automatically a level 4.
You're automatically manager. Level 4. Yes.
Even if you didn't win a World Series.
Well, I don't think there's any managers in the Hall of Fame that did not win a World Series.
Well, if there is.
I got one, for example, Rube Foster. Right. So
there you go.
So he never won a World Series, but still he's in there because of being an executive / manager type of person. Right.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah. So here's a level 5 manager. Like they get to level 4. They get to do everything that a level 3 does. They get to choose 3. Right.
So they get one coach on each.
They get each coach, but they also, and this is the kicker, they get an additional challenge.
No way. So I get an additional challenge.
Yeah. So in the game, if you're not playing challenge rules yet, in the game you get 1 challenge a game. If you have a level 4 manager, you get 2 challenges in a game.
How many points does that dude cost?
9.
Oh, so if I'm playing 100-point game, 9 points of my game is a Hall of Fame manager. I'm going to get 91 for my players.
Yeah,
that's but kind of budget. You got a budget.
Well, also, if you think about it, if you take a 9-point manager, you get 2 respin, or you get 2 challenges, which allows you to respin. You do the line challenge, whatever you do that on the challenge, and you also get 3 respins in a game. So now some people might be like, well, that doesn't seem like that's not enough points. You need more points. But again, it's only a respin, and you can't really. It's not. There's not a card in the game, right? You're not putting his batting disc or his batting.
What if I do have his batting disc in the game? What if I use Frank Robinson?
Okay, so if you have a player manager, which I've made tons of those too, if you have Frank Robinson, Frankie Frisch, Ty Cobb, Rogers Hornsby, if you have guys that are player managers, a player manager may not use his managerial card on himself for a respin.
No way. So like Ty Cobb can't use Ty Cobb to respin Ty Cobb.
No, he cannot.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's a good rule.
Yeah. So also one small change before we distribute the manager cards out, right? I actually want to put backs on them. Now, initially we did not put backs on the manager cards. Okay. I brought a friend over the other night and we were looking through about 40 of these things. And every time we looked at it, we turned the card over.
You turn the card over, which is a habit with Star Power.
And
here's another thing too that I've got for us. Okay. This is quite cool. I had my granddaughter over the other day and we were saying we need something really cool to mark that we've used our pitching coach or our batting coach or our bench coach. And so I bought a whole bunch of bingo tokens. Also, your original idea was to put 12 of these cards in a set. Well, I've copped them back down to 6. I love it because what we're going to do is the same thing we did for the awards cards. We're going to sell these cards front and back printed, cut out, and to you. First 5 sets are going to cost you $10. And there's going to be 6 cards in each set. We're going to list these, though. These are going to have a list on the catalog when we get them done.
Yeah, so you can see you get.
What are you going to get in that 6? You're going to get a 9-point Hall of Fame guy.
Yep.
You're going to get a 5-point
level 3.
Level 3. You're going to get 2
level 2s.
2-point guys.
And then 2 level 1s.
2 1-point guys.
Yeah.
And so far, all the cards that you've sent me have come out perfect like this. It's just an amazing thing.
Yeah. And initially
so beautiful cards. These cards are amazing.
And they're just eye candy. Like, I mean, you get to use them and like interact with them and everything, but they're eye candy. It's like if you're a collector for this game, like these cards are worth collecting. Now, I will say this, like initially the idea was to not put backs on them because you're not really going to interact with them. But now that I had somebody over and we looked at some guys who are like, I don't know who this guy is. It'd be like, it just like where we had our conversation previously, it'd be nice to know, did this guy ever go to the playoffs or like, what do you do? So I'm working on all the backs of them now. So
I love that. Now here's what you're going to get. The first order that you do, you do 5 cards for $10, $1 for each additional set, 5 sets for $10, $1 for each additional set. And I'm going to include 10 tokens.
Okay.
So you're going to have plenty of tokens and you're going to get a whole bunch of cards.
Yeah. So anyway, those are the sets coming out. We're excited about it. The manager set's going to change it's going to give you an additional expansion to the game that allows you to play it in a different way. Right. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. And you get to make the choice and that's kind of one thing that we want to make this game all about is like, you make the decision, right? I mean, the spin is in and the dice are nice, but the spin is in, but we also have decisions that you have to make. Right. So that's what we're doing. But it looks like we're running out of time here.
The ever-expanding world of Star Power Baseball. I think this was a great podcast. Hope all those people out there stay safe. Super Bowl Sundays today. Valentine's Day is on Tuesday.
Okay. Well, happy Super Bowl Valentine week.
There it is.
And go whatever you root for. If you're an Eagles or a Chiefs fan, go for your team. Yay. Or if you're like me and just root for the Raiders just because everybody hates it, then fine.
And the short podcast turned into a good one.
There we go. All right. Take care. The dice are nice, but the spin is in. This is Star Power Cast. I'm Jim Chovo, the baseball nerd. And
Cincinnati Dennison will be with you next time. Good cast.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a good one. I really liked that. That was upbeat, exciting, and now it's time for me to eat because I got to go to work.
Okay. See you later.
All right, bro. Bye.